Hey, Southland Division, your division manager, J. Brad Britton. And just so you know, in case this background looks a little different than usual, I'm in Las Vegas. And I stopped. I was recording this message earlier from my hotel room. And I ended up getting disconnected somehow right in the middle of recording it. And then I had a breakfast or a brunch meeting. And then I needed to make sure I checked out of my hotel, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm parked in a Wendy's parking lot right in front of me and an apartment complex behind me. Here we go. Couple of things I want to do: some recognition of individuals, recognition of some teams, and then I want to do some teaching today. I'm going to teach you guys. I want to train on some concepts and ideas and tips specifically on closing, right? And I'm a firm believer that you can sell 95% of the people you demo for. Okay, anything less than 95%. There's room for improvement. Now, you may be new and you may be like, whoa, I'm only like 50%. Or when I was new, I was even worse than that. And you might be wondering if that's really possible. Well, my objective will be to persuade you or influence you that it is definitely possible, and that there probably are some very little things. I mean, genuinely small tweaks. Maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't, that if implemented properly on a consistent basis, if you do 100 appointments, you're going to sell 90 to 95 of them. And that is the goal, right? And imagine how much fun the job is when you're having high sales. That's when people get to those levels, they stick around for a really, really long time because it's hard to go anywhere else and make that kind of money. All right, sharing the screen. Here we go. Let me show you what went on last week. We had a good week, solid week. Close that. All right, so leading the way. And this is, by the way, not the normal spreadsheet that I show you guys. This is what I see on my Vector Connect when I look at the week's sales. So leading the way, you can see from 10,000 down to 2,500. Michael from NOC, Nate Long Beach, Connor from NOC, all CSPs, by the way. Lexi Cruz, FSM from Downey. Eduardo, Josh from West LA, Josh from Downey, Vincent from Santa Monica. I believe Vincent, if I'm not mistaken, is the new fast start record holder for the year for Southland, a little over 10K for his fast start, first 10K fast starter of the year. We've got Loic, and by the way, look at this, 15 orders for the week. So proud of Loic. Good work, my friend. Loic, nice to see, making some solid 45% income. Madison, right here from NOC. Super positive. Francine, another CSP, over 3,000. Chelsea Brown, got to meet her for the first time a few days ago. Also fairly new in the business, but making 30%. So nice comma club, $1,000 paycheck. Very nice. And then from West LA, we've got Brianna and the Ben Cooper, who I know who's now fully qualified for Puerto Vallarta, I believe, at 100% qualification. And then Leah, CSP from NOC, and then Zoe, there she is again on the report, 2,500, very nice, from Downey. Next page, just real fast. I think we've got a few more people up over 1,000. Candace from Santa Monica, Samuel from Cerritos, Josh and Tierra, both from West LA, Marcus and Hannah from Downey, Rachel from NOC, Cade, West LA, John Bruckner, Megan Half from Long Beach, Lexi Takun, or Lexi, West LA. I'm not sure how to say that last name, but I will as soon as I meet this amazing young lady. South Orange County, Malaya, and a few people squeezing in on the newsletter, but not quite to the 1,000 mark. Ali from West LA, Dane Omar from Covina, Santa Monica, Anna, also West LA, Audrine, and I think there's 3 more if I'm not mistaken. Ken Esquivel, Newport, Hans Downey, and Covina, Melissa, all making that 750 mark. All right, here is the newsletter. There's a big conference coming up. If you don't already know, there's just, you want to make sure you get an invitation, you get qualified, you get to this conference. You want to know how to be successful in the business and just be inspired and just see things in a whole new light in life and in a business. Kickoff conference, that's the place to do it. By the way, if you can get registered, if you're planning to register and you haven't already, get registered by the 19th. It's right here. Sign up by January 19th to be entered into a drawing for free Cutco. And if it's free, it's for me. All right, we love Cutco. This are the Puerto Vallarta standings. They're always a week behind, which makes me sad, but these are the standings for Puerto Vallarta. I shouldn't say they're a week behind. It takes tabs. The orders get sold, and the report goes in, first thing Tuesday morning, and then we don't see the actual tabs through the computer system, knives shipped, everything until the next week by Thursday or Friday. So tomorrow we'll have a new set of standings here on sales, all the sales that happened last week. So That'll be updated. Here's the final 2 pages. This is the column I've got my eyes on right now. Edson Garcia. Look at this for all the people from Southland. Edson leading the way. We got Downey, Emiliano. We got Tommy from Santa Monica. And we've got Tawny from South Orange County and Eduardo from West LA, right? Leading the way up here. A lot of similar names, Tommy and Edson, Tawny, Eduardo, and Eli squeaking in there as well. Okay, so this is for building the team. You guys need to recognize that if you want the most powerful resume you can have from Vector. You want to be able to write on there that you sold a lot of product. Basically, you created business from scratch. You understand the cycle of getting recommendations, scheduling appointments, setting goals, uh, doing presentation, building rapport, doing presentations, closing sales, getting recommendations. That is a cycle. If you're good at that, you really good at that, you'll never be at a loss for people wanting you to work for them, right? You'll always have work, and you can. That's the skill set that you need to be able to create your own business someday too. The other skill that's really important that people sometimes overlook is the team building skill, right? Every organization, whether it's a college athletic program, I don't care. You can't think of a big organization, Microsoft, Google, whatever. The recruiters, the people that are good at finding people to fill important roles and to help build the team with, those people are every bit as valuable, sometimes more valuable even than the people that are good at the sales cycle. So those are two really key skills. Talk to your manager about something called the Authentic Team Builder program. There's a whole training on it. Pretty great. All right. Then top offices, NOC, top 3 pilots, as we always should be. The goal was 30, 27, still pretty close, but I know a few people could have stepped up a teeny bit higher to make sure we hit that minimum mark. So here we go. Top 5 veteran offices. This is the column we're going to keep an eye on for the first part of this year at least. West LA, Cuval, Downey, Hans, Anthony in Santa Monica, and Ron John Geronimo in Long Beach. So 4 out of the top 5 from Southland. That's the way it ought to be. And then we didn't quite double the next closest division, but we did a number on them. So you want to keep up the good work on those things. All right, I told you I wanted to do some teaching and some training on something, so I'm going to train you on a few things. All right, so I'm going to train you on closing, how to close at 95%. Right, I know that I have a full length recorded workshop on this that you can access, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a young man in the North Orange County office was exposed to this training, and he had like 3 or 4 no sales in a row, and on the next first or second demo after, dropped another homemaker +8, which is positive. So I know that this information can have a lot of good value. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking. Are you shaking? Let me try to put this where it don't have to be. Is that better? All right. Well, it's not as comfortable for me, but at least you're not shaking. I'm going to get nauseous. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to give you 8 things real fast, okay? 8 things. Some of these things I'm not going to teach you on. I'm just going to say, hey, you need to learn this, okay? So be sure to note what the things that you're going to need to learn after this and what the things I'm going to teach you right now. There's 2 things about the closing at a high percentage that have nothing to do with what you do on the appointment, okay? Have nothing to do with how good you are at presenting the product or the price or building rapport, anything like that, okay? Number 1 is, did I show a prospect? If you haven't gone through the training about what is a prospect, what is a suspect, make sure you talk to your manager about that. But a suspect is someone who, they might be qualified, they might be over 30 and have a job, but they either live in an apartment or it's a male by themselves. A male by themselves is not a prospect, right? Even if it's a same-sex couple and they're males, you want both together. Okay, that's really important. If you're going to see just one or the other in a male-female relationship, couple relationship, see the female. It just is always better. It's always better. Don't ask me exactly why. I'm not trying to be sexist about anything. I'm just telling you that the statistically what's best for our business. But show prospects. People in apartments aren't as good, right? But if you can see homeowners, you're going to have far greater level of success on average. So showing prospects, that's number 1. Second thing is, was I in the right environment? When I say the right environment, what I'm talking about there is at a house in a kitchen, right? Not someone's work, not in the backyard, not in the formal living room, not people coming to your house, to do appointments, right? You want to do the best possible environment for appointment is in the customer's home, in their kitchen. They have their knives there to do the comparison with. Those are key things. So those things don't have anything to do with any skill. Those are just being smart and working the business in a smart way. Okay. So those are the 2. Now we're going to get to the last things here, the 6 things that are going to help you make sure you close at a super high percentage of the time. All right, first one on here is, did we cut at least 5 things? Okay, now listen, I'm not saying you got to cut 100 things. I'm not saying you got to cut pineapples and all these and all kind of food, right? That's great if you do that. That's awesome. I know that there's some people like look takes a pineapple every doggone time, closes a really high percentage of people. Um, but for some people, that's not as easy or practical to do. But 5 things, if you cut the rope, okay, you cut the leather, right, and you cut a penny, there's 3, right? If you need to learn how to do it, you can cut a piece of bread. Okay, there's a demo you can do with bread, and then maybe you cut a tomato or a grape or a cherry tomato or something one actual piece of food of some sort. Okay, but you want to have 5 things that you cut. Okay, um, and even if it's 2 pieces of bread, that's the demo that I did rope, leather, penny, 2 pieces of bread. Okay, and there's a specific one. So here's what I want. Here's an assignment for you. Okay, you may think you're cutting everything right. You may think you're doing the rope and the leather properly. You may not think you're doing the penny properly. Get some more training on how to cut the rope. Ask your manager on a personal consultation or personal coaching in the next 4 or 5 days. Hey, I want to see the rope cutting. Ask, maybe you have time at your meeting to have the rope cutting demonstrated one time the right way and the leather cutting demonstrated. Okay. More than 50% of people 1 week in the job aren't doing the rope and the leather the actual way that it ought to be done. Just because you think you're doing it right, but you're not. Okay. So get that training. The next thing, number 2 on how to close at a high percentage is, or number 4 total, is, did I clearly ask for a specific order? This is a question you can ask yourself. Did I clearly ask for a specific order? What do I mean by that? Sometimes people think they're doing what we call AFTO, ask for the order. Okay, that's a thing, AFTO, AFTO, ask for the order. The words got to come out of the mouth. Would you like to get that set? Okay, that's like a set of words that must happen. That gives you a place to start. First of all, you can't even get a real objection out that you can work with by dropping down or re-explaining the guarantee or something without getting an actual objection. But if you never ask for an order clearly and specifically, you're never going to get an objection that you can work with. Okay, because if you just kind of say, well, yeah, these are the sets, and here's how much they are. Right, that's not asking for the order, right? Telling someone the price is no different than telling them, hey, this is the wedge lock handle, right? You're just giving them information about the product. That is not selling, that's not closing, okay? So it's got to be something like, so would you like to go ahead and get this homemaker set plus 8 and let me give you the kitchen tool set for free, right? That is a clear order. Here's how I've seen it done, and people think they're doing, well, the homemaker plus 8 is this price, is 13 this, and the basic homemaker is this, and with that you can get either the entertainer pack or the kitchen tool set or the super shears for free. Would you like to get that? Right? Well, you asked for an order, kinda, but you didn't ask for a clear and specific order, right? If you're going to offer all these things for free and all these different options with table knives, without table knives, Siggy with steak knives, whatever, you can't have like a bunch of options swimming around in the customer's mind or even in your mind. When you ask for the order, it's got to be specific. So if you want to narrow it down, you say, so what do you like better? If you are getting a set, what do you like better, the homemaker plus 8 or the basic one? Oh, you like the homemaker plus 8 one? Great, that's a great choice. Another really great line to always say, hey, that's a great choice. Compliment people, make them feel good. But that's a really great choice. Of the 3 bonus items, the first call bonuses or buy now bonuses, and make sure you explain it's a buy now bonus. They don't get the free stuff unless they buy it today, right? That's another good way to have people not say, well, let me think about it, right? Because that doesn't make any sense to think about it when you got the guarantee and then possibly miss out on the free stuff. They're not really serious if they're saying they want to think about it. Anyway, getting off track. So, which one of these items do you like if you were getting something for free? What do you think you get the most use out of? Oh, the kitchen tool set. Okay, that's a really great choice too. That actually has the most value of all the items. Mr. Smith, good choice. So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. If you'd like to go ahead and get this homemaker set plus 8 with the kitchen tool set for free. Right? Would you like to go ahead and get that today or whatever? The point is specific, clear. Ask a question that solicits an answer. Okay. Clearly ask for a specific order. The next step here, okay, number 5, did I drop down all the way? Okay, this is what you ask yourself. If you actually left a house and had no sale at all, you got to ask yourself this: did I drop down all the way? This was the most valuable advice I ever received as a salesperson, probably as a Cutco rep when I was new. I heard of a gentleman, his name was Jeff Majors. I'll never forget. He said, think about your last 5 no sales or 10 or whatever it was. And he said, think about it. And I would be willing to bet you money right now that on those no sales, on most all of them, probably all of them, you didn't actually drop down all the way. You didn't start at a big set, homemaker set or bigger, and ask for that set and let the customer say no. Try the payment options, let them say no again, ask them, show them the galley, explain what's in it, see what they like better. For the free gifts, ask for a clear order. Okay, boom. That's step number. That's the second. That's the first real drop down, right? Then, if they say no to that, do the same thing with starter sets. Which one do they like? What do they want for free? Here's how much it would be. This set, this for free, this price. Would you like to get that? No. Go down to a piece order where you're putting piecing something together. Try something on that. Buy 4 items, get 1 free. Whatever. No on that, and then you drop and you keep dropping. And he said, if you think about those demos, I'd be willing to bet that you didn't do that. Ask for a sale at least 5 times and clearly drop down all the way down, right? Sometimes, things happen, something happens, they gotta leave early, right? Or something happens where they say, oh, I definitely want to buy that homemaker set. And we're like, okay, great. So our greed takes over. And instead of dropping down like the training manual says to do, to show smaller sets that they'd be comfortable saying yes to today, we get all greedy and we say, okay, I'll let you buy that signature set, in 3 days when you think about it, right? Or when you talk to your husband about it and you definitely know he's going to be into it. Oh, great, right? Of course, you guys know by now that they don't ever buy later, right? They just, no matter how much that they think they're going to buy later, they just don't. So it's way better to drop down. Well, there's an old saying, what? The bird in hand is better than 2 in the bush, right? So always drop down all the way, okay? And that means ask for a big order, okay? And then drop to the next size set, drop to the next, and getting comfortable and getting good at doing that without sounding like you're begging, that's a really super important skill. And by the way, 2 concepts or 2 things on that. First of all, why do we ask for a great big order even though we know most people don't buy it? You know what? Most people don't buy a homemaker. We know that most people don't buy a homemaker. So why do we ask everybody to buy it? Because it makes it easier for them to feel good and kind of conceptualize a smaller order, right? The bigger we start, the bigger the order typically is. A lot of reps go through this revolution in their brain when they realize, okay, I've been asking people to buy a homemaker and my average order is about 200. So if I start asking people to start on the complete set or the family set, my average order size all of a sudden, just from starting different, not really doing hardly anything else different, just from starting at a higher level, my average order size goes to 300, right? It's really remarkable, right? It's the same concept why when you go to, the BMW dealership, they don't have the old beat up, used cars in the showroom. They have the most expensive, the nicest with all the bells and whistles, because you never know what people are going to be interested in, right? No prejudge, because sometimes those people that you don't think are going to buy a big set, just when you ask them to buy it, they actually do. So we ask for something big because sometimes we get it, but mostly we ask for something big because it makes it real easy for them to get something smaller when we get into a price range that they're more comfortable in, okay? So that's so the 2 things: start big, and there's a reason for starting big, and then always dropping. Okay, did I drop down all the way? Here's another tip that maybe you've been taught, maybe you haven't. But did I write the prices on paper? Okay, I know in some of the offices on the back of the demo form that customers can sign, we have a little worksheet on the back where people can write down the prices. I highly recommend that you write down the price of what the homemaker would be. And I know the prices changed last fall and I don't have them all memorized, but what the prices of what the homemaker set would be if it were purchased individually, like meaning not as a set, right? What it is as a set on Cutco.com, and then what it is what it is at our price when you have the kitchen tools and the super shears for free, or whatever it is, right? So if you're going to quote a price and it's going to be on the kitchen tools and the shears, for example, don't just say $13.29 or $13.79, whatever the price of the homemaker is. Add in the price what it would be with the kitchen tool set and with the super shears, right? So hey, if you were to buy all these things that we're talking about now all individually, it would add up to this price, to 1,800 and something dollars, right? If you bought it as a set, right, it would be this much, right? And but if you get it today, because I'm going to throw in this and this for free, you'd be getting it all for only this much. Okay, so it's a great deal, right? So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to go ahead and get this set, okay, for this amount, and that comes with these 2 items for free, right? And you smile and you nod, right? Smile, shut up, and nod, right? Clearly asking for specific things. So the price of the homemaker, I know it used to be $1,400 and something if you bought like the trim or the paring knife all individually with the wood block, and then if you buy it by a set, it was $1,279, right? So there's like $150 to $200 savings, which comes close to 10% savings, right about that, maybe even more, just by getting it as a set. So make sure you're leveraging all of those things. Okay, writing the price on paper kind of forces us to make sure we're giving specific things, but some people remember better or conceptualize it better, internalize it better when they see the price on paper. Okay, so it's really important, I think, to write on paper. And I've seen top salespeople in our company and others, they never actually say the price out loud. They just write it down. Say the homemaker set plus 8 individually would go for this much. And maybe they wrote down the Henkel's price or the Wusthof or Shun price. Individually, it would go for this price, and they show it to them. But as a set, if you were to go to Cutco.com right now, you'd get it for this price. Okay, but if you get it with me today, I'd be able to do the super shares for free instead of having it as part of the price, and it'd be this much today. Okay, so I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. I'd like to go ahead and get this set, which includes the shares, all for this much. And you smile, shut up, and nod, right? But you've got to get to that point where you ask a question and you shut up and you give the customer a chance to answer. Because when they answer, then we've got stuff to work with, right? There's ways to help them do it. And anything that they say other than "I hate Cutco," right? I think it's terrible. I would never. This stuff is awful, and I would never want to own it. There's not a lot you can do about that one, okay? And you may actually run across one of those someday. You probably haven't, and you may never. But those people are out there that just, you could offer them a free flat screen television, and they just would say no because that's just who they are. They just say no to everything. So writing the prices on paper, what I was getting at. All right, last two things here. And there's something, I hesitate telling you this because it's going to open up a can of worms in some places, but there's something called the Cutco game, right? So the question is, did I play the Cutco game, right? And all the Cutco game is, it's just kind of a fun way to put together a piece order. I used to tell people when they said no to the starter sets, I say, Ms. Jones, I'm actually glad you said no to that kitchenette and all knife, because that gives us a chance to do something called the Cutco game. Now, this may or may not be something that is a good fit for you, but I just want to show you, and you can tell me what you think, okay? And it's part of my process. I'm supposed to show you this every time for the practice anyway. Right? So you bust out the picture of the homemaker set with all the different items in it, and you say, what I want you to do is pick your favorite 4 items, the 4 favorite items that you would use out of the basic 10 that come in the set. What are your 4 favorite things you think you'd use the most? Oh, and by the way, you can't pick the trimmer, right? And I'd take something like a pen, or usually a pen, and I would put it over the trimmer, okay, over the picture, right? But you can't pick the trimmer, okay? I'll tell you why in a minute. And they go, okay, well, I like this. Okay, so I get them to pick their 4 favorite things. And while they're doing it, I'm writing it on a piece of paper. I'm writing trimmer, putting the price out beside it. Price, right? Of course, they couldn't pick the trimmer, but you know what I mean. So I'm writing it all down with the prices, and I say, okay, hold on, let me tell you what the Cutco game is, and I would do the calculation, everything, and what I would do is add up those four items, as long as it's over 400, which is I think the limit to get the 5-pay. Maybe it went up to 450, but you add 12 for the $12 admin fee. You divide by 5, okay, and that gives you what the payment option, the 5-way price would be for those 4 items. Okay, once you have that number, the 5-way price for the 4 pieces that they'd use the most, you just simply say, okay, let me tell you how the Cutco game works. The Cutco game works like this. You chose those 4. What we would do is we would throw in for free a trimmer. Okay, that gives you 5 of the 10, half of the entire homemaker set. Plus, we would give you one of these knife and fork trays to keep those 5 items in. We would give you one of those as a bonus for free. So the trimmer and the tray would be for free. Okay, now think about it. It gives you 5 knives, which is half the homemaker set. And if you did it on the 5-part easy pay, here's how much it would be today. And I like to have it like either on paper or even on a calculator on your phone, and you just show it to them. And it's usually like $92 or something, $90, maybe it's $100, but a lot of times it's under $100, okay? So if you say, hey, you get half the homemaker set, right? 5, then they're not getting the wood block, and they're not getting the cutting board, things like that, but they are getting half the homemaker set. And instead of $1,300, which is the number that was swimming around in their head, you turn it around, and it's super powerful when you say it's all only $89 today plus tax, okay? And they're like, really? Right? And that's really hard to say no to something like that, right? And it's very clear, specific. These 4 items, trimmer for free, tray for free. This is the amount. Would you like to get? How does that sound? Okay, that's a good. Or how does something like that feel for you? Okay, would something like that work in your budget? Okay, or that's kind of impossible to say no to, isn't it? Right? Whatever you want to do for your closing question. Okay, so Cutco game, it's really hard to say no to the Cutco game. I sold the absolute snot out of the dang Cutco game. Last thing here is the number 8 thing is if you want to make sure you get a sale every time, because I don't care how big your sale is, right? Of course, I want the big sales, and you do too, but I want people to lock in their buy now bonus. Okay, so if I've explained the buy now bonus correctly and didn't just say, "Oh, we throw this in for free," we must say why it's free, right? And you explain it. We used to call it the first call special, and I can still remember exactly word for word the way I explained the first call special. Miss Jones, let me tell you about something called the first call special. When you get that homemaker set plus 8 that you like, I'm allowed to give you 2 bonus items for free. I can give you this kitchen tool set and this super shears completely for free as a first call special. This is when you place an order on the first call, my first time to come visit you. Okay, and so I wouldn't be doing my job. I didn't go and ask you, get this, and we would specifically ask for the order. So if you explain the buy now bonus or the first call special early on properly, then you can leverage it at the very end. You say, hey, listen, Miss Jones, I can tell you love Cutco and you want to get it eventually. The timing's not really, really right for you. Here's what most everyone does in your situation. You like it, you think you'd use it, you want it. It's just a matter of money right now. What I would recommend that you do is what most people do, and that is, let's get you 1 item today. Okay, what that does is that locks in the buy now bonus, because remember, it's just buy something today, you lock in the bonuses forever. Okay, so if 6 months from now or a year from now you win the lottery and you want to go and get that big set, well, all those bonus items and all the free stuff, the discounts that we talked about, I can give you that later because you locked it in by placing an order for something today. My recommendation is a trimmer. You put that on a 2-part payment. It's only $48 or whatever the amount is. It's less than a tank of gas. You say it's only this much today. That locks in the bonuses for down the road, and you're safe, from not being able to get the bonus items down the road. Okay, how's something like that sound? You want to do that? All right. And look, if you have shown a prospect in the right environment, you cut 5 things, you clearly asked for a specific big order in the beginning, you dropped down all the way, all the prices were on paper, you tried that customization thing, right? Because that customization thing, what's great about it is it lets them know you're working hard to try to find something that fits their budget, that's exactly what they would use, and they appreciate the fact that you're working on their behalf, right? To try to find something that fits. And then when you get finally to the trimmer, and I would suggest you do a Santoku trimmer on the 2-part payment. That way, if they get a regular homemaker set later, they don't have 2 of the same trimmers, right? They have a 1 Santoku and 1 regular trimmer. And it's really, really, really hard for someone to say no to all those sets, then say no to the Cutco game, and then say no to a trimmer on a 2-part payment. Okay, and if someone's not willing to buy a trimmer on a 2-part payment, then there's something else really radically probably wrong with your demo. Okay, either you need to put on some deodorant, brush your teeth. I mean, something is going on here because anybody who is a prospect, okay, even people who aren't prospects, they can afford a tank of gas, right? They're not going to not go to work tomorrow because they're out of gas. They have that money. And as long as they understand the value of locking in those bonuses for someday when they want to get Cutco, you're going to sell at least a doggone trimmer 95% of the time. That's 95% closing for you. Hopefully it was worth your time for this little bit of training. And I know this is longer than usual, but I wanted to give you some goods. All right, take care, everybody, and let's sell some dang knives and keep crushing the rest of the divisions around and lead